Hey guys, today I want to talk about one of the things that makes us completely obsessed with either a person or a particular substance or anything like that. Why addiction happens in the first place. It is because of intermittent reinforcement, and you will see that many of the Indian households have a grain of this intermittent reinforcement. That is unconsciously how that is how unconsciously parents tend to control their children, and which may seem for the benefit of the other person but actually destroys the other person and their individual identity. And then later on in life, I have also seen men do this to their women, and how they tend to control their women. So intermittent reinforcement, what happens in this dynamic? So you have a parent and a kid, and the parent withdraws their affection from the kid when the kid does something that is not pleasing to the parent, or they kind of feel attacked by it, or they are calling out the parent on their behavior, or they are expressing their feelings, right, in an authentic way. Now what the parent will do is they will withdraw their love from the kid, and suddenly the kid will be flooded with stress chemicals, and he will be in so much of distress, because as children we are dependent on our parents, our survival is dependent on our parents, and this can be like a death to us. So when the parent withdraws their affection, and suddenly the child, what will they do? In order to survive, they will try to comply and be the person that the other person wants you to be, right? So what they'll do, they'll shapeshift, and they will try to please, beg the parent to love them back. Now when that happens and the parent loves them back, suddenly they are flooded with so much of relief, and they get hooked. And over time what they'll do is they will give up on their authentic self, and they will try to please the parent constantly, because they do not want to experience that particular withdrawal or those stress chemicals that they had when the parent withdrew their affection. So this is how many of the parents control their kids in the Indian household, and they feel justified in doing it. They do not know what it does to a person's system. Suddenly they will see that their kids are actually not authentic people. They have become somebody else just to please the parent, and they will be in constant distress. And we don't even recognize that this kind of thing starts with our parents only, even if it is unconscious and they are not trying to do it. But to some extent, they tend to do it so that their children come back and they start begging the parent to forgive them or to love them, or things like that. Now imagine you are on drugs. What happens? You taste the drug, and suddenly you crash down so much, and you go below your baseline, and suddenly you need that drug in order to feel a high. So you have crashed down, you take the drug, and you experience an high, and that is how your mind gets hooked to that particular thing. If you have safe, consistent love, wherein the parent is trying not to punish you but is trying to actually build why the parent expecting a certain behavior, or inspiring them with love or leading by example, so that kind of thing is not present, and suddenly they withdraw their love, so that they want their children to behave in certain manner just to satisfy their own egos. And it may sound insidious, and we may not want to hear this, but I'll tell you this, that many of the parents, even if unconsciously, they want to do it to satisfy their own egos. That means that they will have egoic needs. For example, they want the kid to satisfy their own emotional needs, and they are not even thinking about the kid and what he needs or what she needs. They are just focused on what they want from the kid, and that is how you kind of form a trauma bond with them. You become so obsessed. So look back at your life, and you will find that the parent that you experience this with is actually the parent who used you in some fashion. Difficult to hear, but it's a fact. And you become obsessed with this parent. You must have seen this case when the fathers are absent in a family. What the mother will do is the mother will try to bond with the male child, and she will ask him to satisfy her emotional needs, because her emotional needs are not being fulfilled by the other parent or her husband. So that is how the male child will form a trauma bond, wherein he will become obsessed and he will always try to rescue her mother. And that is the child who will eventually do the same kind of things with his wife. That is from where your this mama's boy and why it does not work come from, basically. So the other person will let go of their complete identity in order to please you. Now you have seen that many of the men who give silent treatment to their wives or threaten to leave them anytime she is being a little difficult and asking for what actually she wants, and not just serving her husband. What they'll do is they'll try to pull back their love, or what they'll do is they try to bring in a third person so that you compete with them for their attention, right? So they will try to keep you unstable, so you stop asking for the things you actually need, or they will try to put you down constantly. So all these tactics are ways of control, and they are not love. And that is how trauma bonds form. And you have to recognize that the person on the other side of it does not have best interests for you. They only are looking for the satisfaction of their own needs and not for you. Recognize this early, and if you feel like this is happening to you, get out of that. Either create some kind of predictability or consistency in the relationship. Consistency means that I'll be taken care of no matter what, or I am safe, things like that. If you're not feeling it, you're constantly on edge that I might do something which might lead the other person to leave me, then that thing is not going to work. It is going to flood you with chemicals and obsession.